Hey guys, Joe here. Just doing a quick pickup video. It is Sunday. It is 8:30 in the morning. And just like, life, I worked a 16 and a half hour shift yesterday. Don't know why. Didn't need to be there, but whatever. New guy, maybe it's hazing. I don't know. But anyways, as I've explained a few times, this week is all about the upgraded trade-in deals at GameStop. Right now, you go in, you trade in games, you get the same amount in cash as you would normally for trade. So basically, you're going to get 20% more than you normally would for most anything you trade in, except for systems, of course. Well, actually, no, systems are working that way too. So, yeah, if you got stuff you want to get rid of, now's the time, especially if you want cash. The trade-in is always going to be what it is, and that's just the way that works. So I went out looking, and I've found things. As you know, I found a few games, another copy of Call of Duty Black Ops, which trades in for like 11 bucks. What do you got? Wii Sports Resort, which trades in for a little bit of money. Those are from last week. I've just been sitting on all this stuff, waiting for the new sale to happen. But I went out yesterday and found a bunch of stuff. Number one is I always wind up going too early to these stores, so I wind up going to other stores. And I went to a Goodwill. I know, Goodwill. Normally nothing, but this time they actually had the original You Don't Know Jack. Now this is for the PC, Windows 95, but the reason I picked it up is if you take this disc and you put it into a regular CD player, car, personal, whatever, and just hit play, you can actually listen to all the audio tracks that are in the game through your radio. And I don't mean the speech when you're answering questions. I mean the little cutscenes that they were doing, when they were doing like little radio ads, the fake ads, those play. So it's almost like a commercial radio station from Grand Theft Auto. So if you happen to have a copy of that, I highly suggest listening to it. Some of it's really dumb, but some of it's actually pretty funny. So, yeah. My buddy who has a pawn shop in West Virginia. He's not really my buddy, but this place is awesome. They always give me a good deal, and every time I go in there, I've never been disappointed because I always leave with stuff that's worth stuff for less stuff. Some of this stuff. Where's my $2? Sorry. They were having a buy two get one free sale on games because they were trying to bring down their stock. They got way too much 360 PS3 stuff. So, of course, with the upcoming thing, I decided to start going through. And for $5 a piece, they were marked. I got just the disc-only copy of Grand Theft Auto 5 on PS3. I'm probably going to keep this, although it does trade in for like $6 plus my bump. On the 360, Batman 3 Lego. Lego Batman 3. I always say the title without the Lego because I always just assume everybody realizes it's Lego. But this thing trades in for like $9. And the Red Dead Redemption Game of the Year edition, which also has the Undead Nightmare expansion pack with it, this is worth about $10 as well. Including with all this was the PS3 DualShock controller. Now this was marked at $10 by itself, so I was going to buy that regardless. I needed one for my system, but if I don't like it, I can trade it in and get 16 bucks for that. So, but all of this, all of these things was $15. Even though it should have been like 30 bucks, he only charged me $15. So that was freaking cool. So again, I go there, I grab a bunch of stuff, I take it up to the counter, and this dude just gives me deals. I don't ask for these deals. It's because this guy, he knows that they're video games, he knows how frequently they come and go, he knows that value goes up and down, so he'd rather move them on. Because let's face it, he probably had $5 in all this stuff. So he tripled his money, and now he's happy. Because this was probably with a system, and he sold the system and had this extra one laying around. Because he had no PS3s when I was there, and this was just loose. So, thanks, brother. Next thing I did was I went over to my actual buddy in West Virginia, the one who has the retro game store, and he sold me some stuff. Now, I normally just pick up like my DS's and 2DS's and 3DS's from this guy. But I went into his shop after going to the pawn shop because I needed a 64 game, because as you recall, I have the Nintendo 64. It's all hooked up, so I'm not going to disconnect it. You saw it the other day. But it had a little bit of dirt on the terminals, and I cleaned the terminals and everything, but turns out I didn't have any 64 games just readily available because, hold on a second, I've got them all packed right now because I don't know how I want to display everything, because I've got systems in that case now. So I've just got them all in boxes. Plus, I was kind of thinking that if I wind up moving out towards Manassas, that I'm no longer going to keep this office. So at that point, we'll have to change, you know, what I'm doing. But anyways, I picked up a copy of WCW versus NWO. It's just a fun beat 'em up anyways. This was back when THQ made some fun stuff. I mean, they made fun stuff anyways, like Saints Row and things like that, but you know what I mean. A DS that works, but it's got a broken bottom hinge, which is actually different. Normally it's this piece right here, this side of the hinge, that breaks, not this side. But I've got a silver one where this part is fine and the top is broken. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a custom silver blue system. Why not? And then I'll have that, because I like playing on these. They're cheap to pick up normally, so not a risk at all. Plus they still trade in for like 15 bucks if you got a charger, but I don't give up my SP chargers or those chargers. And then as I was getting ready to leave, he's like, hey, do you do anything with Xbox One stuff? I'm like, of course. So he brings me these three. These are the first gen. They don't have the 3.5 millimeter jack on them, but three first generation Xbox One controllers. This one somebody tried to open and they didn't know how to get to the screws underneath the covers, so they did break the side of this one, but that's okay. That just turns this into a play controller. And there's the third one, and they all work, so I was happy. But I got all of that, the game, the DS, the three Xbox One controllers for 40 bucks. And these trade in for $22.50 or $24.50 or something like that. So I could trade in just two of the controllers, get all my money back, and then everything else is free. But I'll probably wind up, I've got an extra original one. Like I said, I'll turn the one that's got the cracked housing into my Play one, and then I'll just use the other one for a trade-in. So between the three controllers, the three games, although I might keep Grand Theft Auto on PS3 because I don't have it on PS3. I've only got it on 360 and Xbox One. But between all of that, I mean, you're talking, like I said, 10, 20, 40, 60, 80, 70, 110, $120 worth of stuff for 55 bucks. So that's $70 in profit for not much work, and I get to keep this controller, the 64 game, and Grand Theft Auto. So yeah, I can't really beat that. And then that allows me to continue to hunt because it pays for fuel and everything like that. So I'm very happy about that. If you have any questions, leave them down below. If you have any comments, leave them down below. Yes, I know how bald I'm getting. Leave me a message. Should I try Rogaine? I think I'm going to try it. Then I'll have a big head of bushy hair. So anyways, talk to you guys later.